Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Building Bread. I am OverHugs, and we are here at the site of our victory over the Ender Dragon. And so, what happens next? Well, next, we want to be able to explore the end. While this does look like there is nothing else here, there are considerable islands right out of our reach that we can get by going through the gateway that spawned when the Ender Dragon was vanquished. So we can see the gateway right over there. This is something that is new. We don't see it anywhere else. And you get one of these every single time that the dragon is beaten. You can respawn the dragon whenever you please and fight it again and generate up to 20 gateways. But for right now, we have 66 levels that I'd like to do something with before we go exploring. So let's hop back through this portal and see that it takes us back to wherever we set our last respawn. If this had been back at our farmhouse, that's where we'd be. And we've separated out some of our gear that we don't need right now and left that here. We will need our axe for the trip through the end, but we won't need anything else. But I want to run back to our farmhouse and get some enchants. And we're back at the farmhouse, and we're going to use some of these enchants to prepare for our inevitable demise. So to do that, let's get out the diamond ore that we've collected, and we're going to mine this with fortune, and create ourselves a set of backup gear with all these levels. So let's make sure we have our fortune pick, and we do, and mine down this to see what we get. Do love seeing all those diamonds. So this gets us 21, and we require 26, I believe it is, to make a full set of diamond gear. So now we have 28, which is plenty. So let's make ourselves a helmet, leggings, boots, and a chest plate. And we'll put the remainder of the diamonds back, along with the remainder of the ore. So that's for our rainy day fund. So now that we've done all this, let's also grab some lapis and see what we get for enchants. So first off, unbreaking, which should be the same, which it is. And we have fortune for our diamond hoe, which is not bad, but I'd prefer fortune 3. So let's see what we get putting unbreaking on this. Protection 3 and unbreaking 3. Not bad. If we put this on, also protection 3, which I will take. Again, protection 3, unbreaking 3. And we have unbreaking 3 on the hoe. And unbreaking 3 on the legs. So let's see, do we continue? We continue our streak of protection 3, unbreaking 3. I think I might have to go buy a lottery ticket. So efficiency, which I will take efficiency, but what do we get off the helmet? Protection 4. Let's take efficiency 4, because that's pretty good. Straight up efficiency 4. Not as wonderful, but still doable. And this is still protection 4, so let's see what we get off of it if we take that. Unbreaking 3, protection 4. So we have a full protection set of gear. What do we get off of this? Again, unbreaking 3. So that's not great. I don't want that. And that's just efficiency. I'll keep the efficiency, but let's grind this off so that we can do it again. We have the levels, so let's use them. As well as, I think I'm going to go for something different, particularly for the boots. Boots have a great deal of enchants that you can get off of them. So let's try this again with all the levels that we have. So it's still unbreaking, which is very surprising. I don't recall it ever being like this many in a row. But we get blast protection that time, and I will take that. It's good to have a backup set of gear. So let's see. We are out of lapis, so we need to get some more out of the chest. And let's just take it all so that we don't have to do this again. And we'll make ourselves some more lapis, and we will try again with our diamond hoe. And that is unbreaking again. So just unbreaking, which again is not great. So let's grind that off. try again. Still unbreaking. So because of that, let's see what we get off of a book. You can enchant books in this table just like you can gear, and Smite is not good. Smite is just extra damage against undead. If that was Smite 5, I might take it as a specialized weapon against the undead, but it's not worth it otherwise. So what we can do is, if we're going to get Unbreaking again, not terrible, we'll hope for one of the bonus enchants that comes with it. Which, Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 3. Not wonderful. Let's again grind that off and try again. And on further thought, just Efficiency 4, we're going to grind that off too. We have the levels. We have the technology. Fortune 3, Unbreaking 3. That I will keep. That is good, because what we can do is when we want to specifically knock down tree leaves for saplings, this will give us more saplings. So that is valuable. We do need more lapis, so let's go ahead and do that. And try and see if we get the other one. The ideal thing would be Silk Touch. I would really like to get efficiency in Silk Touch, which we didn't get. We can always put Silk Touch on it, and I think that's okay. Knockback 2. Knockback is not bad. We don't have it on our sword, so let's take that. Let's take Knockback. What else can we get to get rid of some of these levels? I'd like to get it down pretty low. And this is our last full enchant that we'll get. Since we went through and did all the gear, this is the last one we'll be able to get. So it is power. And we already have power 5 on our bow, so that's not great. But we'll take that and drain it down. And maybe a couple more. I'm expecting us... The chances of us dying, even at our own hand in the end, are reasonably high. In the case of you going out and exploring the End Islands, you can get way out there. So as part of that, I want to get our levels down pretty low. And Silk Touch, we'll take that, because that's basically a freebie, and we can apply it to the Diamond Hoe that we had before. And we'll do that right now. So we have our Fortune 3 on Breaking 3, and let's just put Silk Touch on our other hoe right now and get rid of some of these. While I was in the end, I also mined up some obsidian from the pillars that we saw. So I'm just going to take the moment to make a bunch of ender chests, because quite frankly, you can never have too many. The funny thing is that ender chests can be stored within ender chests. So if you end up losing your chest, you can find another chest that you've planted in the world and reclaim it. So let's put everything we don't need that we care about within the chest. And I think we're close to ready to go. One of the other things that we are going to want to do is claim... We have been saving gunpowder for the entire time that we've been killing creepers, specifically for this moment. One of the things that we can find as we go out into the end is an Elytra. And Elytra is a set of wings that you can wear instead of a chest plate. And it gives you the ability to fly. And this is a tremendous, tremendous game changer. And I'm trying to find where we put... All right, there we go, our gunpowder. And the way that you can fly is through the crafting of fireworks. And you can create fireworks with paper and gunpowder. And you'll see this doesn't show up in the recipe. And if we search for it, we don't get it at all. So this is kind of a hidden recipe that you need to know about in order to create it. So we will create as many as we can, and we will stick them in the ender chest because we don't need them right now. But once we get our Elytra, we will. So this is an end gateway, which is different from the end portal that we came in before. We both need to be able to get up to it, and we also need a ender pearl to be able to get through it. So, and I'll show you why as we start to pillar up to this. All right, and the difficult thing that you need to be able to do is you need to be able to throw the ender pearl in such a way that it will go through the portal, but not so much that it will land somewhere and you die. This generally isn't a big deal. If the ender pearl goes into the end, it never contacts anything and it won't teleport you. But, and we have a friend there, so let's try this out. And here we go. Remote gateway. We've made our way through, and we can come back through there. Ender pearls, because I don't think I've covered it yet, will anywhere that you throw them, wherever they land is where you will teleport to. So if we check, for example, over here, and we wanted to try and throw it to get to that point, we could huck it, and we just land there, and we take a little bit of damage when we do. So that makes them pretty handy. So you see there are Endermen everywhere. And this is going to be the same everywhere we go within the end. The only creatures that will naturally spawn at all points are Endermen. You also see these weird purpley trees, and these are chorus fruit trees. And we can get their flowers by shooting them, and then we can plant them anywhere, very similar to what we did with netherwort, where as long as it's on this block, which is endstone, we can grow these, and we'll get a couple of these. We need specifically to harvest the flowers, because if we were to go after the trees itself and knock them down, they just break. And they turn into chorus fruit. And chorus fruit has another unusual ability, where it is food, but when you chew on it, you teleport. Now, you teleport a very short distance. It's usually only a couple of blocks, but it gives you the Enderman's ability. And this leads you to thinking, like, I guess this is how they got it in the first place. When being trapped in this dimension and having just this chorus fruit to eat, that may be why the Endermen are the way they are. So now we need to decide which way we need to go. And what we're looking for is an end city. And end cities are small to large towers that generate within the world itself. And one of the tricks that we can use here is we can switch our video settings up to maximum, to the maximum view distance that we can, because this will cause more of the world to load. And in doing this, like, we'll see more things pop in over there as we're looking at it. And this will give us the chance to be able to see if there are additional islands or additional cities that are otherwise out of our viewpoint. So I don't see any over there. So let's go to the other end of this island and see if we can see them. Islands that have end cities can be a significant distance away. And because these islands are all not connected, they are truly islands, we have a great deal of bridging to do to get one from one to the next. There are times that I've played this world where literally I've run maybe 100 blocks and there's been an end city right there. And then there's been times that I've played on servers where I've had to go 1,000+ blocks before I hit my first city. It is just random, and you can't really do anything about that. I'm not seeing any right now, but we'll continue to run and cut back when we see something. All right, so I haven't seen anything, and we've hit the end of our first island, so let's bridge over. Again, as long as we don't look at any of the Endermen, we should be relatively safe here. This isn't like the Nether, where there are ghasts and other things that spawn in that can just spontaneously kill us. So I don't feel the need to really box in like I do whenever we're in the Nether. But we're going to continue along the next island here and see what we can see. There is, unfortunately, not a lot of variety in the end. This is what most of it is, and here we go. There I see a city rendering in over there. So, and that looks like a decent-sized one, so hopefully it will have a ship, which is ultimately what we're looking for. Finally seeing the island beneath us. It's nice to not stare into the staticky void. And we're here. Okay, so let's check out this end city. So these are the structures that go and will randomly generate within the end. Actually, random is not correct. They will generate at specific points depending on your seed. once your seed, hello, Shulkers. And so if we go through and if we deleted this chunk, it would regenerate in exactly the same spot. And what you've seen there is a Shulker, which is one of the mobs that will infest these cities. And Shulkers have the ability to levitate you with those projectiles. So we're going to come around here. We'll knock this end rod over. And we're going to take them out. So you saw that it dropped a Shulker shell. And Shulker shells are extremely valuable within Minecraft because they can allow you to produce a Shulker box. And we will want a lot of these. I have a mod installed, well, a data pack actually, that is double Shulker shells. It just means that instead of dropping one, every Shulker will drop two. And the reason for this is that I could do other things, like I could go in and prune the end, or we could continue to fly out further and further. But again, this is a quality of life. Most of the time, I end up needing a large amount of them, and on a multiplayer server, I always play with this enabled, just because with everyone else playing, the end gets pruned pretty fast. And you see that the Shulkers give us this ability with their projectiles to float, that we will slowly float up higher and higher. But we do take damage every time we get hit, so we do have to be a little bit careful. But we can levitate in here and catch this section of the roof, and this will allow us to check out the tower. As you see, there are a lot of Shulkers that are shooting at us. And you can shoot these projectiles. You can hit them with your sword, you can shoot them with an arrow, so you can get rid of them and take them out. Most of the time, it's not that difficult to deal with them, and really they don't do that much damage. And sometimes they're handy, because it's nice to not have to parkour all the way up this. We just have to make sure that when it runs out, which we keep getting hit, so it's not, that we're not at a point of where we're going to fall a great distance. So we're going to start using our bow and arrow and clearing out some of this, because quite frankly, this is just too many. And I'm having a hard time even hearing myself over the noises that they just make over and over again as we float up to the top of the tower. So this is great, this is where we want to be, and we're just going to take a minute to have this expire and take out all the shots so that we can actually hit the ground. The end has some of the best loot in the game. So you see here, we have a good set of diamond armor with good enchants and some gold, as well as another chest plate and a silk touch efficiency 4 pickaxe, which is quite good. We're still at the point of where we need iron, so I'll take that too. In addition, what we're going to do is we're going to harvest these chests, because when we get to a point of where we are more safe, and we'll go up here and look and verify that there is no boat, which unfortunately there is not. That is quite sad. We're going to have to find another end city in order to do that, but it is nice to have all this loot. Shulker fights are basically ping pong, as you can see. Were we on a multiplayer server, I generally put a large, something that shows that we've been here on the top of the building itself and at the bottom. So if anybody is exploring and trying to find something here in the end, it becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly that we have already harvested it and it doesn't waste their time. Again, let the ping pong begin. But we can get to the top, and this one also has an ender chest, which is very handy, because we can both access it and take it with us. Alright, so let's see, what do we have here? Nothing we really want. And look at all this loot in the ender chest! Yeah, I know, it's a terrible joke, but it's still funny. So, we need to go down. Hi, now it's my turn to be death from above. Parkour! And again, let the ping pong continue. What we're going to do while we're here is we are going to take some wood and we're going to make ourselves a crafting table. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to make ourselves our first shulker box. And shulker boxes are one of the most useful items in Minecraft, and here is why. So what we can do is we can take chests that we got out of here, and you see we have shulker box, and we can make 2 of them. Shulker boxes give you another inventory. It is kind of behaves like a shulker, where it opens and closes and it has the same thing, but it has its own inventory. So we can take this and we can put all the great gear that we just found in here, along with the shells and everything else that we want to make sure we preserve. And let's make another one while we're at it. But in order to do that, we need to get the shells back. So now that we've done that, what we can do is we've created this shulker box, and again, we'll just put everything in. But shulker boxes themselves only take up 1 inventory slot, and you can put them in ender chests. So basically what this does is this changes your ender chest from being something that is nice because it can handle 27 items to something that can hold 27 shulker boxes. And the shulker box is the full inventory, basically, of what you see here. So it makes your ender chest so much more powerful. And as a reminder, if we were to die, we would lose a ender chest, but we wouldn't lose everything in the ender chest because they're all shared. And because of that, it becomes a great way to be able to protect your items. Okay, so we made our way out of this city, and since it does not have the item that we most desire, we're going to have to continue on. And this is fine. So let's see, this actually, oh, I can see another one, and I can see the boat in the distance, so that's perfect. Let's head right over there. This is the advantage of having your render distance set so far, is that we get the ability to see these, and you might not have the ability to do that. If you're playing on a multiplayer server, the render distance is usually locked, usually around 20 or less, because the more that the server has to deal with people rendering, the more load the server has to take on, and the harder it is to deliver performance for everybody. So looking at the coordinates, we've traveled quite a ways by the time that we hit our second city. I believe we were at about 600 or so. We can check back on the map when we hit the main inn, or the secondary island out here, but we have had to travel a decent distance to get our first pair of wings. And we'll definitely want to make sure that we get a backup pair, but that's much easier because once we have a set of wings, we can just easily fly and get to another boat and just hit that directly. Hopefully that is now it. All right, so it is going to be difficult to get to that because this is a reasonably sized end city. So, and there's another one right over there that is a very small one. So you see what I was talking about before, where they can be a single tower or they can be an enormous complex. So we're going to want to go all the way up. All the way up and all the way forward to be able to get onto that boat. So thus begins yet another game of ping pong. And parkour. I'm honestly surprised that we have not gotten a shulker head yet with the drops. They're not that rare from my memory, and we also did, as part of building up our enchanted gear, we managed to get a villager that had looting, which every thing of looting increases the chances of getting drops, and we managed to get looting 3, which is the maximum. There we go. I just spoke too soon. Parkour! So one of the extra difficult things about getting to the boat here is that we will be shot at by all the shulkers. And the problem is it's too much of a distance to be able to count on levitating across due to the shulker bolt effect. But it's not close enough to where we can zip across and bridge quickly. We could probably ender pearl, but I don't feel like taking that chance right now. So what we're going to try and do is pick off the shulkers from a significant distance away, which is actually seems to be working. My aim is a little bit better than it was when we were fighting the ender dragon, evidently. Come on, open up. And I spoke too soon. There is a random effect of the shots. As you can see, like, my shots don't land all in the same place. Generally, they'll be around the same block. But as we get into target blocks, which are a new block in 1.16, where it has a definitive bullseye, putting your crosshairs at exactly the same spot will not get you the same result over time. So let's see where other shulkers are, and we can start pillaring or bridging across and see if something starts shooting at us, and then we can kill it if it does. But it looks like we're getting lucky, and that I'm not hearing any shulkers, nor are there any in the captions down in the bottom right. So I think we'll be okay. And being careful, because it would be horrendously ironic to fall now when our goal is in sight. So this is the inside of an end ship, and what you'll see is there'll be a brewing station here that has some potions of instant healing health too, which we'll take those. You saw we made those before in order to fight the Ender Dragon, and I'll take the brewing stand too because we don't have enough of those. And here is our final goal, guarded by one final shulker, which we will dispatch. And this is the Elytra. And if we knock it out of the frame, you'll see we get an advancement of the sky's the limit. So other things, like this is also fairly good gear, and diamonds and gold as well. I will take it. So let's put down our ender chest. Let's take out one of our shulker boxes, and let's load up what we've gotten and that we're going to keep. So we've still gotten a decent amount of shells. We will keep Sting and put everything else that we don't need in the box itself. And let's take these. We'll just take everything because it's all nice. And we equip our Elytra. You see now that we have our own set of wings. And what we will do is we'll put this down and take out a stack of fireworks. And fireworks are what allow us once again to propel ourselves through the sky. And you see that there is a downside to using this. We lost a considerable amount of armor because the Elytra just really doesn't give you any armor at all. It also can only be enchanted with unbreaking and mending. So it can't give you any additional protection. Another thing that you find in these end ships are additional dragon heads. On the front of every one, there will be a dragon head, and we can just go and mine this and grab it. So the Elytra definitely makes so many things so much easier, because now, instead of having to worry, how can we get there and how can we get to the other thing, we can just jump off and double jump and glide our way right to the top of whatever we want. And so this is one of the reasons why I try and get this as early in the game as I can, because it just makes everything so much easier. So let's actually use a firework and fly a little bit here. Okay, much better. So now we can fly around and see the actual area that we are. And let's zip into here and see if there's treasure in this that we have not gotten yet. And you'll see one of the other things that I did right there is I will use one weapon, like for example the bow, and then I will switch over to my sword, because whatever weapon you have equipped when a mob dies is what you get the bonus to. And we want that looting bonus, because it will increase the chances of whatever loot the mob is going to drop. I believe we are done here. Let's just fly over to... where is the other one? Let's fly over to the other city and check it out. And again, you see the advantage of the Elytra is that we can just very quickly zip over here and zip just to the very top of the tower and walk ourselves right in and just grab the treasure. If we really didn't want to, we wouldn't even have to fight any of these shulkers, but I'm really sick of being ping-ponged around. Well, guess I'll have to go down. And this is a good one. 5 diamonds. We're recouping quite a bit of the investment that we made into our gear before. Okay. So now what we have to do is we need to balance the durability we have with the Elytra and against the amount of fireworks and the amount of distance we need to travel. Because what we need to do is we need to find another end gateway in order to get back to the main end island in the center there. And we'll be able to see these pretty easily because there'll be a giant purple beam of light that will shoot into the sky when they render. But if we look at our map for where we've been, we've traveled a pretty decent way. This is the original island where we fought the dragon, and then we teleported down to here, which is at -1,000, -100. And now we are all the way at -1,000, -2,000. So we traveled on the order of 2,000 blocks in order to get here. So what I think we'll do is, since we know that going basically due south will take us back, is that's where we'll go. And we'll hedge our bets by both flying back the way we came and looking for a end gateway. And we'll fly a little bit off the path of where we came, just in case we happen to see another city. But we're going to have to keep a pretty close eye on the durability, because as you can see, it goes down pretty fast. And there's another end city. It definitely looks like we picked the wrong way to go, because if we had just gone in the opposite direction, we would have found one very fast. But this one does not have a boat either. There's another city. We definitely picked the wrong way to go this time. All right, if we don't find one on this island, it will just be time to... Oh, there we go. Perfect. So you saw that giant blue or purple light that goes right up into infinity, basically. And it allows us to be able to find this easily. And that was great because we are down to our last 100 of durability. But let's just go and pillar up. And we already have our ender pearl. So... this will be nice and easy. And that brings us back here to the main platform, where we can zip through and fly into the main portal, which will return us to our spawn point of our home. So we'll place the shulker head that we got here on our little trophy wall, and with that, that's going to be the end of the episode. And I want to thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. I have been OverHugs, and this has been Building Bread. As a reminder, I donate all the profits that I make off of this to local food banks. So if you could please like, subscribe, and perhaps tell a friend, I would greatly appreciate it, and it will enable us all to do a little bit more good together. Because at this time, everybody could use a bit of a helping hand. So thank you once again. I hope you have the most wonderful of days, and I'll see you soon.